800-600-KOGO, 800-600-5646, and lots to talk about. Hey, Jade, is Michael Schwartz online? All right, Michael Schwartz from San Diego County Gun Owners sent me an email over the weekend with an interesting point. I didn't know about this because there's been a whole swirl of post-election coverage on a number of hot topics, but Hollywood darling liberal lecturer Ashton Kutcher apparently has been caught in a very big hypocritical moment. Michael Schwartz from San Diego County Gun Owners joins us live. Hey, Michael, thanks for stopping by.
You bet. Thanks for having me on.
So we have Leo DiCaprio, who says climate change is terrible, let's go off the grid, yet he flies around in a private jet with a huge carbon footprint. You've got the Democrats out there screaming and yelling about sexism, but they were covering up for people like Harvey Weinstein and Bill Clinton for many years. Now you have Ashton Kutcher out there penning an op-ed calling for gun control, but he himself has a little dirty secret.
Yeah, he went on a whole spree of tweets on Twitter, calling for more gun control, calling for more laws that will restrict your Second Amendment rights. But in one of them, he says that a friend gave him a gun as a gift in the parking lot of the Borderline on his birthday. Now, the Borderline, of course, was the site of that horrible murder last week. It was awful and tragic, but that was that bar, Borderline, up in Ventura County. And he has said in other tweets that his birthday party was there back in February of this year. So in February of this year, he received a firearm from a friend as a gift.
Wait, February, February of 2018, correct?
Correct.
So something big happened on January 1, 2018.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. I apologize.
Or was it 2017? One of these laws went into effect that you're not allowed to just give someone a gun and not register it.
Well, no, yeah, that's been he broke a bunch of laws for years. You've not been able to just give somebody a gun in California. You have to go through a firearms dealer. They have to go through a background check. They have to go through a 10-day wait period. You have to pay a fee. You have to register it with the state. There's a whole list of laws that he broke. And so, I pointed this out in an article and said, hey, he needs to be investigated. He needs to be arrested for admitting to committing multiple felonies.
Felonies. These are not misdemeanors. These are felonies in the state of California.
Yeah. So in this huge tirade of calling for more gun laws, he admitted that he broke, 4, 5, 6 of them that are, like you said, felonies. And I got to tell you, the attempt here is not just to try to get, an actor arrested. It's to highlight what a devastating consequence can happen to somebody that's normally law-abiding, but they're a gun owner, and the consequences are because of poorly thought-out gun laws that make normal activities illegal. Giving somebody a present, owning a gun, giving somebody a gun as a present, that's a normal activity, but a lot of these gun laws make these normal activities, into felonies. So while calling for more poorly thought-out gun laws, Ashton inadvertently proves the point when he publicly admits to committing a felony that when he's doing something that he considers normal. And this is no joke. This is something I see weekly. Honest people like you and me who run afoul of some dumb gun law that was poorly thought out, poorly executed, and is basically doing nothing more than making normal activity illegal and turning people into felons rather than stopping felons from committing crime. The emphasis has been on turning normally law-abiding people into felons, and Ashton inadvertently highlighted that and showed that that's exactly what can happen.
Well, he's also showing just stunning ignorance. I love how these gun rights activists, gun control activists are out there screaming and yelling and hooting and hollering about how our current laws are completely inadequate and that we must enact tougher laws. They're not even aware of what current laws are. And that's what he's showing here, is that he's completely ill-informed, uninformed, ignorant. Now, you posted this, you brought it to everyone's attention. Has anyone picked this up in the liberal media? Has anyone in law enforcement said, "Oh wow, this is a good point. We got to look into this"?
No, but we are going to pursue it with law enforcement, specifically the Department of Justice of California. If this were you or me or Joe Lunchbox or Jane Lunchbox that did this, we would have to go. We would be arrested. We would have to spend thousands of dollars. We would be lucky to not be a felon and lose our voting rights and lose our gun rights and lose, a chunk of our bank account. So I don't think that just because he's famous, he should be held to a different standard. But I also think.
I mean, because basically, what did they do to the Del Mar gun show, the Crossroads of the West? They went through the Crossroads of the West with a fine-tooth comb, couldn't find anything, made crap up, and at the end of the day said, okay, well, we're just going to get rid of you. We couldn't find anything, but we're still going to get rid of you. These are the same people who make false accusations against other Second Amendment supporters. They're always looking for any single small, minute error, and yet this guy is publicly bragging about the fact that he has broken the law on a felony level in a number of ways with his actions.
Yeah, proudly. I actually reached out to a couple of gun control groups and said, hey, are you aware of this? Let's band together and say, hey, following the law is something we agree with.
You're not going to get anyone to step forward with you because this is not about any sort of integrity of their argument. This is about politics, plain and simple. Ashton Kutcher is one of them. The laws don't apply to them. Are you joking?
Yeah, it really is. And highlighting the fact that, he tried to use his fame to highlight what he thought are inadequate gun laws. I would like to use that same fame to highlight his ignorance and highlight the fact that this stuff is dangerous. You can't just throw a bunch of laws into place and think that they won't have negative consequences to normal, everyday people, and that's who we are. They're not stopping criminals. They're stopping, law-abiding, hardworking people who fall into these bear traps that they call gun laws in California, and the consequences are huge. Well, I want him to experience or at least be educated in the possible consequences of his actions before he starts spouting off on what he thinks should happen. By the way, his
hoisted on his own petard. We got a jet, yeah. Michael. Thanks for calling him out for their ignorance and their hypocrisy.
Without someone doing something about it, it's not going to get any better.